We went on a short trip to Salt Lake City to see if this is the place where we wanted to live. We did not plan any nature adventures because our priority was to get a good feel of the community and the city life in Salt Lake. We decided this is not the place for us, but that will be for another video because this video is about myths and truths about Salt Lake City. Myth: they don't drink coffee. All the coffee I tried here was amazing. They have many coffee shops where you can go hang out for hours with your computer or just grab a quick coffee and go, or even have breakfast there. The coffee quality is wonderful, no complaints at all. Finding coffee, drinking coffee, going to coffee shops is not a problem. It's as normal as in any other city. Myth: they don't drink alcohol. Before I came, everyone I know said that there's no alcohol to be found in Salt Lake. They would say things like, not even at restaurants you would find alcohol, it's terrible, blah 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 blah. Well, that's not true. It is true that there are rules around alcohol here. For example, they make sure to discourage drinking and driving. We went to this super cool brewery with great beer, by the way, and see how they have a picture of Bill Gates when he got a DUI. To enter a bar, you must show an ID to prove that you are over 21, and you will see big signs saying this is a bar. Happy hour is dedicated to food deals only. Even at some bars, there's no happy hour drink menu. Apparently, happy hours or any other promotions that discount beer or liquor prices is prohibited, and I'm pretty sure it's the same deal in Boston. Drinks should not exceed a total of 2.5 ounces of spirits. And you can't ship wine to your house. So, it's true that Utah is an alcoholic beverage control state, however, it's not like you can't drink. We went out on Friday for happy hour time and everyone was drinking with us. We weren't alone, guys. Restaurants do serve alcohol like everywhere else, and there are plenty of bars in the city. They even have a waiting time of 45 minutes at some bars. We spent our Friday bar hopping and had no problems at all with finding booze. Actually, we really enjoyed walking the streets and finding a new bar and even getting recommendations on bars from locals. I love to get recommendations from locals, and a local from the famous Japanese place said that there's a bar that just opened about 2 weeks ago here in Salt Lake City. It's called Franklin, so we are going. We're gonna see what's up there. Hopefully it's cool. We visited this new place called Franklin and it was packed. It has a cool location, great service, good drinks, and amazing gelato. We also recommend you check out the breweries here as there are plenty in the city. Conclusion: alcohol is not hard to find in Salt Lake City. Myth: it's boring. In my opinion, Salt Lake City is not boring. I come from Miami where there is not much to do besides drinking and partying. That's boring sometimes. But Salt Lake City has that, plus stunning nature activity opportunities. So to me, that's not boring. They have plenty of super cool restaurant concepts, coffee shops, boutique stores, and parks. Maybe the shopping is a bit limited. I think there are only 2 to 3 malls in the city, but I mean, these days I prefer to shop online anyway, so that's not a concern for me. Now, I'll tell you something, and you may hate me for it, but according to me, the people is what makes it boring. Try going to a bar in New York City, Boston, or Miami, and immediately you will make friends with the staff or someone that will approach you and talk to you. Don't get me wrong, people in Salt Lake City are friendly, but you have to approach them and engage with them to get something out of them. They will naturally be very polite and friendly, but there's nothing much beyond the answer to your question. One thing is to be friendly and something else is to be welcoming and engaging. We've traveled a decent amount around the world, and I think we have a good judgment on this. We were able to make 0 connections in Salt Lake City, but I can probably talk for hours about friends I've made all over the world. In my opinion, people here keep to themselves unless you make the effort. Another thing that makes it a bit boring is that it's true that many things close on Sundays. So the city will feel slower on Sundays, but hey, what's wrong with that? People are always complaining about how Americans are robot workers. Maybe it's not so bad to have 1 slow day a week so you can relax and do some self-care. Myth or truth? It's creepy. This is an interesting one. Type Utah in the Netflix search bar and first show on the list is Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, a documentary on the polygamous fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day. Go on Google and type cults in Utah and you will find some weird stuff. Type ghosts, same thing. Search for crime-related news on Salt Lake City and wow, there is definitely creepy stuff there. Ted Bundy was a native of Salt Lake City. Gary Ridgway was the most prolific serial killer in the United States, born in Utah. Robert Berchtold, the guy from Abducted in Plain Sight, is from Utah. There's much more, but I don't want to scare you. Utah is evolving and these things are in the past. But what I want to say is that Utah has a long-standing history with odd things. And I'm not going to say that it's a scary place because it's not, but maybe it feels as if people are more embracing of rareness around here. There's a lot of inclusivity and acceptance of everything and all, and there's a desire to follow counterculture values. People around here dress however they want. For example, instead of following the similar fashion you see in cities like New York, Miami, and Chicago, around here people are much more hippie and untidy, or even all the way to the complete opposite, being very flashy and eccentric with the way they dress. Super myth. Everyone is a Mormon. This is just an absolute lie. I don't think I came across any Mormons over the weekend. Salt Lake City is becoming less and less Mormon over the years. And yes, there is a big Mormon population. If you're curious about the stats, 40% of the people in Salt Lake are Mormons, but there are people from other religions as well, including Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, Christians, and others. It's pretty normal, it's not creepy at all, and Mormons are normal people, so there's no problem with that.
I've been extremely excited to come see the Salt Lake Temple, and we're finally here. Are you ready? Da-da-da-da! It's in renovation.
I don't know how long you look for it.
Now let's talk about some truths. The biggest truth, and one I don't see many people talk about, is that the city is having a big city problem. There is a reason why people are reluctant to live here, and trust me, it's not all because of the alcohol rules. Salt Lake City has a terrible and concerning homeless problem. I'm aware that this is a big problem in the West Coast overall, but I don't see people pointing out Salt Lake for this problem. I read many Salt Lake articles and reviews before coming here because I was considering living here, and the homeless problem was never an apparent problem in my readings. I see that the mayor makes a big emphasis on having Salt Lake City be a regional magnet for people who want to live their authentic lives and be in a supportive community. And not to be sarcastic, but I wonder whether that includes embracing the homeless community as well. Pretty much the homeless people own the streets. They do all living things in the middle of the streets, like changing, washing themselves, eating, sleeping, hanging out, talking to themselves, fighting. It's intense, and I don't want to blame them. But it also confuses me how there is such a big crisis and no one is talking about it. How there is no space for them. I mean, Utah has a lot of land. Why isn't there a community for them? Guys, the percentage increase in housing costs is nearly double the percentage rise in renters' median incomes. And yes, this is happening in America overall, but Salt Lake City is seeing a drastic change compared to what it has been for years. So I'm not surprised why there is a homeless crisis. The homeless crisis in the city is unavoidable. It is a very sad situation, and I really hope the city can find ways to improve this soon. The weather is extreme. I also think this one's true, but I have to say that I haven't been in the city during all the seasons to confirm, but I can tell you the summer is extremely hot and dry. I come from Miami, which is very hot and humid, but I think I'd rather have that over this dry heat. I think maybe I'm not used to it, but during our visit, I could feel my nose getting really dry. I was extremely thirsty and tired all the time. It's not enjoyable to walk around with this heat.
All right, the way there is very relaxing. I like it. There are super cute houses everywhere. It's hilly, therefore I'm struggling a little bit with this shirt in the summer. So if you come here in the summer, please bring an appropriate, fresh outfit and water.
The city is very clean. Despite the homeless problem, the streets are pristine. However, there's a lot, like way too much construction going on in the city. The locals are complaining about it. So there's a lot of dust everywhere, which makes it even less pleasant to walk. But yeah, you can tell that the citizens care a lot about keeping their city pretty and clean. In summary, Salt Lake City has potential. It's a beautiful city surrounded by mountains and amazing nature opportunities. But like everything else, it's not perfect. Some of the things that people say about the city are not true at all, and it's funny that the real things that are going on in the city no one talks about. I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know about your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time in another video.